When he was a 6-year-old, I told Andrew Nicholson, I said, this one's special. Andrew laughed at me and he said, you don't know that yet, you don't know that yet. And of course, as a 6-year-old, Art looked a little bit fat and a little bit Irish, and I just always felt that in his brain, he was special. He's not overtly cocky, but he just doesn't doubt himself. If you walk him across the yard now, he's not particularly sort of outstanding. He doesn't walk along in a look at me way, but he absolutely comes alive when he goes into the arena. Trotting into the arena at badminton this spring, and until then we hadn't broken the 40 barrier in terms of dressage scoring, and so as I turned to trot up the long side of the dressage arena, still on the outside, I turned and he looked into the crowd, and it was like he said, "Oh, I've been wondering where you lot have been." He just grew, and I did medium trot down the long side, and then we were away. We scored 37, and Ingrid Klimke, who's a friend of mine from eventing, she was next to go. She didn't dare come in because of the noise the crowd made. And to score that, riding the horse that you've produced from 5 years old, and he isn't a natural dressage horse. He's not a sort of great big moving foreign horse. He has had to work very, very hard at it, and he has worked every day. He's put his heart and soul into it, and he's given me everything. And to score that mark was just, mind-blowing. It was amazing. It's a very difficult situation for everybody, to be honest, but it's difficult for Fiona, who owns him. Everybody knows that, horses can, they can fall over in the field, they can damage themselves, they can do any number of things, and it's an incredibly difficult situation for her to be in. We have known about the likelihood of Art having to be sold since about a week after badminton. He was amazing at badminton. He'd been amazing at Rio. He was brilliant at the Nations Cup the year before. So he'd had some very good results, and the world was taking notice. I've got to keep believing that he won't go. I've got to keep believing that he can stay. It's quite hard because the total that we need to raise seems a long way away, and the European Championships, which is effectively the cut-off, is very close now, and it is a huge worry that he would go. It's not so much what it would mean to my career, it's the concern over him going elsewhere. Now, he may end up with a very good rider, but everything is a routine for them, and as horse owners, as we all know, routine is what they thrive on, and I just don't want to see any of that changed for him. I can't really, to be honest, remember exactly whose idea it was, but the sort of principle of asking a lot of people for less money rather than only a few people for a lot of money started to make a little bit of sense. To be 100% honest, it was a last resort, but we thought, let's give it a go. One of the massive benefits and massive spin-offs from it was the involvement of the people, and Art he loves people. So I can't think, to be honest, of a better horse to be owned by the people. It would be special, I think, for the sport really as well, because it could open the door to a whole new way of funding and owning event horses, but it's just a huge thing, I think, for people to feel that involved with it, that close to one of, possibly the world's best horses. And to be able to focus on events like the Europeans, to go back to badminton next spring and try and put my mistake right, with the support of, the people, would be amazing. Really, really special. More than the money has been the sentiment and the feeling from people, the messages from people who they don't have to send me a message. People who sound certainly like they genuinely want to see Art and I stay together and maintain our partnership. And that's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't thank people enough.